I thought I got to interview you. Oh, no.
You've got a better chair.
I know, well, I feel like the interviewer. I'm really enjoying Sydney. Yeah, waking up, walking through the streets at 6 o'clock this morning was very nice. Went on a boat in the harbour last night. Good food.
Lovely. And was it good world premiere? Was that good fun here?
Yeah, great reception. Great reception. I mean, two cinemas full, which is a, lovely thing. And I think, Johnny English was a, massive hit over here before, and the fans are still here 8 years on, and it's a really good place to open it.
So, I mean, what was it that attracted you to the role in the first place? When you read the script, or?
Yeah, I mean, I was reluctant in a way when I first heard about it, because I thought, well, as a someone who has their whole career to thank the Bond franchise for, I don't really want to do something that's a spoof or a piss take or something. And then I read the script and I thought, well, this is actually brilliant and very funny, and it's beat for beat like a Bond film. And I think that since the last Johnny English came out, there's been a kind of big change in spy movies.
Yes.
That Bond has changed. Since the one I did, the last one with Pierce Brosnan, and also Jason Bourne has obviously set the bar high. And I think Johnny English had to kind of grow up, and modernise, and become cooler. And as soon as I read the script, I realised that that's exactly what they'd done. And I saw the potential for this to be a really slick, brilliant film that was sort of beat for beat like a Bond film, but with the overlay of comedy. And I thought this could be gold.
And also working with Rowan.
And working with Rowan. Well, working with Rowan is an interesting one because, I've grown up as a huge fan. I watched Mr. Bean obsessively as a child, and yet, as an actor, you wonder how it will be to play opposite Rowan Atkinson, because, it's a daunting prospect, not because of him, because he's a very, very warm, engaging, lovely man, but you think, how am I going to sort of stand up to this or with this, or how do I find a language, and how do I convince people of a love story here? And in fact, I think we found something sort of truthful. And I think I realised that my character is in some ways a vehicle for the audience to sort of see the attractiveness in Johnny English, because she's a very sympathetic eye. I think because she's a behavioural psychologist, she understands that, the little moments of pride and arrogance are born out of this insecurity, which is something we all identify with. And
was it hard? Because obviously he's a funny guy, and there's so much visual comedy there. Yeah. I guess not just you, but almost every other person in the movie is a straight guy. Yeah. To him, is it hard playing against someone who's being funny all the time?
It's a delight, to watch. Like things like the scene when we're with the Prime Minister in the MI7 headquarters, and he's going down on the swivel chair. We started laughing at that at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's very hard. You've got 10 people around the table. You're all catching each other's eye. It's very hard not to corpse, not to burst into laughter. And then you just have to sort of convince yourself that if you can't keep a straight face, you're going to be fired, and that usually kind of, that usually kind of kills the giggles. But it's finding the truth of the scene and trying to forget that you're in something funny. That's the sort of, it's like playing a straight scene with wit.
Yeah.
It's sort of finding the kind of wit in the straight play that you have to do in a film like this, I think.
And obviously, as you said, you worked on a Bond film and now you're on this. How was Oliver as a director, and how did he handle the Bond stuff compared with your director on Die Another Day?
Well, Ollie's he used to be an actor, so he's very sympathetic to actors, for a start. He was a perfect kind of collaborator for Rowan, because Rowan is very involved. He's very exacting on himself. He will watch every take back. He sort of dissects his own performance to the nth degree. And it's sort of fascinating to watch. Sometimes painful to watch, because you've seen 16 takes that you think are brilliant, and he's still searching for something elusive that no one knows what it is apart from him. But I think that one of the things I'm most proud of about the film as a whole, not that it's anything to do with me, is how good the action is. It's not a colossally expensive film, this, but I think it looks like one. I think the action is superb, and I kind of find it really liberating that you can have very cool action sequences, like on the wheel with the wheelchair, yes. And it's got all the drama and tension of a car chase, and yet you've got the kind of bathos in there that it's it's not a car, it's a wheelchair.
Yeah.
You know, which is essentially absurd. Or the fact that you've got a helicopter sequence, but the helicopter's hovering 18 inches off the ground. You know.
And how about the rest of the cast? I mean, there's obviously Gillian in there and Dominic West from The Wire.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually a great cast.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, before sort of signing on, I wanted to see how the cast was assembling, you know, because then you get an idea what kind of tone the producers are going for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was interested in doing it if it was going to be a sophisticated comedy that would appeal to kids but had a sort of slick kind of, you know, proper action movie feel to it, which is, you know, once they start casting people like Dominic and Gillian, you think, oh yes, you know, they're kind of aiming high with this one.
Mm-hmm.
I love Dominic. I think Dominic was brilliant as a foil for Rowan because he's got all that kind of easy kind of public school kind of caddish charm, which is what Johnny English sort of wants to have but is so kind of falling short of all the time. And it's painful and quite sort of touching to see the two of them side by side.
Well, I think that's my time up, so thank you so much for your time. And enjoy the rest of your time in Spain.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Cool, thanks so much.
Thank you. Put those cards out.